Take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
That movie is the last time on the screen. 40 seconds.
NBC News, streaming free now.
Start your day with Ksee 24 to get all the local news that matters on Ksee Sunrise. Fresno Lexus proudly supports tonight's first segment of local news that matters. Fresno Lexus. Lexus, the relentless pursuit of perfection. Ksee 24 News begins with your forecast first from your local weather authority.
I'm Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox, and yes, with the big melt still going on, we've got flood issues. A new flood warning, the Merced River at the Pohono Bridge. We are still a flood warning in the Kings River. Flood advisory for the Sequoia and San Joaquin River, I should say. And that means we're going to be dealing with this flood issue as long as the snow continues to melt. We're going to see rivers busting out like this from Yosemite.org. This is Yosemite Falls, and it is continually gushing outside. Looking at our own Valley Cam at Block Construction in Fresno, nice clear blue skies. That's what allowed it to get as warm as it did. We were very hot today, even close to records. We're at 94 right now in Fresno. Our live radar showing clear skies, and those clear skies tomorrow will lead us to temperatures that are very hot again. 96 degrees would tie the record, and then we get significantly colder in the days ahead with some stronger breezes. I'll have your complete forecast coming up. Ksee 24 News at 6 starts right now.
Local news that matters. This is Ksee 24 News at 6.
I walk outside without rain boots, and sometimes it's like ankle-deep water up to my front porch.
Yet another evacuation warning for a community along the Kings River. Residents at a Sanger RV park could be forced from their homes for months as the big melt begins. Good evening. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Alexandre Balakian.
And I'm Stephanie Barugian. It is a battle against flooding at the Riverbend RV Park. It's continuing tonight. Those living there could be forced to leave everything behind again, and this time it could be for months as water levels along the Kings River are rising with the snow melt.
Rhett Rodriguez joining us live now from the Sanger RV Park there in Rhett. Kings River already at a danger zone level, but it's getting worse.
That's right, Alexandre, and people who live here have telling me that they have been dealing with flooding for months, and now they're just trying to gather up everything before they're forced to leave again. The Riverbend RV Park near Sanger is under a flooding threat once again by the rising Kings River. Those who call the park home have been dealing with flooding since March. Taylor Warkington made this moat of dirt and sandbags around her home to keep the water out. So far, it's working.
I walk outside without rain boots, and sometimes it's like ankle-deep water up to my front porch.
The park is under an evacuation warning from the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. This bridge is the only way in and out of the park, and today it's under several inches of water. There are concerns the bridge could collapse, so for now, Warkington says her mobile home will have to stay where it is.
Doesn't feel like this is a great place for a car, and people are afraid that the bridge is damaging their car, driving over all of this water and stuff like that.
The Fresno County Office of Emergency Services warns the river will only get higher. An evacuation order is put in place, an emergency shelter will be opened, and this time around they may have to stay there for several months.
We're not looking until probably the end of June into July of when the peak flows will happen. And so then as the water recedes, then it'll be a matter of assessing, if a home had damage where it was not inhabitable. So yeah, potentially we could be sheltering people for a couple of months.
While county officials work to draw up the evacuation plan, Warkington and her husband are wondering what will happen to their home, especially because they don't have flood insurance.
My husband doesn't want to leave, unfortunately. Because he, everything he has is in that house. So he's worried that when we leave, nobody will take care of it and it's just going to flood. And we couldn't get flood insurance because there was a moratorium.
Right now, this area is under an evacuation warning, but if it does become an evacuation order, we will update you on air and online as that information comes in. Reporting live, Rhett Rodriguez, Ksee 24, local news that matters.
Rhett, thank you. And as that great melt continues, state and local agencies want to capitalize on that excess water while making sure it stays away as much as possible from the downstream areas that are facing all that flooding. Typically, the Fresno Irrigation District recharge basins would be empty this time of year while water deliveries are underway. But in a wet year like this one, with flooding threatening to destroy parts of the valley, it's a chance essentially to hit two birds with one stone.
That much more water we bring in our system is that much less water that's going down there and potentially flooding them.
It's not going to totally eliminate some areas, the impacts that some areas are going to experience, but it will really demonstrate that we're doing everything we can to minimize those impacts.
Over 100 other recharge banks along the Sierra are receiving water diversions, but the DWR claims that it would take years of recharging groundwater to really get California out of a water crisis.
Just a reminder here tonight, parts of the Yosemite National Park will be closed off to the public for the next few days, if not longer. Most of the valley will close starting at 10 o'clock tonight due to the threats of flooding over the weekend here. The western Yosemite Valley is open, but will close if there are safety issues due to traffic. Park rangers say expect delays and limited parking as well as limited options for hiking. The closure will last until at least May 3rd.
An update to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park closures. The park says due to road damage, Mineral King Road will be closed until at least mid-June. And this picture showing the damage along Highway 180 between Grant Grove and Cedar Grove. Caltrans rather, doesn't expect the road to be fixed for several months. Cedar Grove will also be closed for the summer. The Grant Grove and Foothill areas are open. And for a list of closures, you can go to our website, yourcentralvalley.com.
A driver is killed after plowing into the back of a work truck in northwest Fresno this morning. It happened around 10:45. A man driving a minivan near Ashland and Marks crashed into the back of the work truck that was on the side of the road. There was no one inside that work truck at the time of the crash. No word on what caused the driver to crash into the truck.
New at 6, we're learning more information tonight about an officer-involved shooting in Winton. The Merced County Sheriff's Office says 33-year-old Rene Fuentes of Livingston shot himself after a confrontation with Livingston police. On Tuesday, Fuentes was the driver of a car involved in a pursuit with police. Officers then fired at the car, and detectives say they were able to find video showing Fuentes using a gun to take his own life. The other person in the car was taken into custody.
Local students getting a first-hand look today at a career in construction. Harris Construction holding their 6th annual Skilled Trades and Construction Careers Student Workshop at their Fresno location. It is the first one since the pandemic. They say they hope the event encouraged students to pursue trades like construction and carpentry. Almost 100 students, 4 labor unions, and over 60 vendors came out to the event today. Hiring specialists and other key personnel spoke about the benefits of blue-collar work, including pay and the environment at job sites, and letting students participate in hands-on demonstrations to get a feel for the industry.
So at this point in these students' careers, or in their lives, it's very important and critical for them to understand what it takes to become someone within the construction industry, and it opens their eyes to the possibilities that are out there.
And if you think your student might be interested in learning more about the trade industry, you can reach out to the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, CTE, and ROP department for more information.
A powerful art exhibit is on display at Merced College through Monday. It's a tribute to veterans who have served our country and those who will serve in the future.
It's a stark yet emotional exhibit. 7 life-size oil paintings with a single sculpture in the middle. They're images of members of the Lima Company 3rd Battalion 25th Marines from Central Ohio who were deployed to Iraq. In the spring of 2005, 22 Marines and 1 Navy corpsman were killed in action.
This was created to honor the fallen that you see in these portraits.
Sean Flaherty travels with the Eyes of Freedom exhibit as it tours the country. He was a personal friend of one of the young Marines who lost his life.
What's most important about this is this truly travels for far beyond the faces you see here, and it travels for anybody that's ever served in the past, is serving right now, or even the young folks that are about to go in. This is for them.
The exhibit features the work of artist Anita Miller from Columbus, Ohio, who was inspired to create a tribute after the tragic loss. The boots in front of the paintings belong to the men who died. The sculpture in the middle to open the discussion about PTSD and veteran suicide.
It's a horrible subject that not a lot of people want to talk about, but we're here to say, hey, we're tired of brushing that subject under the rug, mental health and all that.
There's pretty strong emotions. For the most part, it's a lot of memories.
Jose Cruz of Merced helped set up the exhibit. He's both a Marine and Army veteran who served in Iraq.
It hit home. It was very realistic, you know, and I see that, and it hit close to home.
The Eyes of Freedom will be on display at Merced College through May 1st. After that, it continues its tour nationwide.
Still to come here at 6, giving back to Earth on Arbor Day.
Which Fresno school celebrated by planting over 30 new trees on campus?
Our view is that the economy is in a very strong position right now.
Coming up on the news at 6:30, could the U.S. economy be slowing down? We're going to take a look at the newest data and what the numbers could mean amid fears of a possible recession.
Here are the headlines for tonight. The big melt. We're in it right now. It continues as temperatures will threaten records on Saturday. The wind gets stronger on Sunday and delivers cooler air for the following week, several days of it, in fact. Your 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boz Allergy will be in the high range, then medium, then dropping low early next week. Oak, ash, and birch, the predominant pollens. I'll have your complete forecast as KC 24 News continues.
This is KC 24 News at 6 with Stephanie Barugian, Alexon Balakian, and the certified most accurate forecast with AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox. Your local weather authority, KC 24, local news that matters.
I see on KC stories of everyday people making a big difference. I see farmers and ranchers providing food for the nation. The work they do is so vitally important, and that inspires me to make sure they know what to prepare for, from their farm to our tables. We are all connected in the Central Valley. I see what matters. I see local stories making an impact, and I invite you to see it all here every day on KC 24 News.
KC 24 asked you to nominate remarkable women in our community. We recognize the incredible accomplishments and extraordinary efforts of our 4 finalists.
I think everyone has the opportunity to be remarkable.
We congratulate our 2023 recipient, Adrienne Hellman, as she attends the national celebration in Los Angeles.
I'm absolutely elated that I won. It makes me actually more passionate about my work and makes me want to do more.
Thank you, Main Street Hanford and BD&J Injury Lawyers, and all of our remarkable women.
Loud garage doors sound like bump, 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 bump. Usually customers don't know that their garage doors are loud until we get there and we fix it, and then they're like, wow, this is so much quieter than it used to be. Precision is here to help.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Hey there, I'm Dan Riley, inviting you to try our distinctive Riley's craft brews. Once you've tasted our unique beers, you'll ask for them at your favorite restaurant and store. Tell them to stock Riley's. Locally crafted Riley's Brewing Company, a hands-on beer for a hands-on life.
Now YourCentralValley.com, pros who know.
For thinning hair and hair loss, discover hair regeneration at Madge Medical Clinic, the Valley's most experienced regenerative medical clinic. Call us today for an appointment.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know.
The latest conditions live. The KC 24 Valley Cam Network. Now, AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox with your local weather authority forecast.
We were that close today. Our high temperature was only a degree away from the record. We ended up getting a high of 97. That's a full 20 degrees above normal, but 1 degree off of the record set back in 2007, 98. Our morning low was 64, also more than 10 degrees above average. We're at 94 right now in Fresno, so we're cooling off for the day. 94 in Hanford, 93 in Visalia and Porterville. It's still hot outside. Merced is just below the 90-degree line at 89 degrees. That is the same temperature as yesterday. The rest of the valley is still warmer by at least a degree, if not 4 degrees compared to yesterday. Breeze is now up around 10 miles per hour, close to it, a little below in Hanford, Visalia, and Porterville, a little above in Fresno, right on the money for Lemoore. Looking at our valley cam powered by Eagle Mountain Casino, and this is the location at Meadow Lakes. Looking out across the valley, we see a few of those thin clouds as the sun's getting ready to set, but that haze, that goes along with the very warm temperatures too. So the clear skies, according to our live radar, that's going to continue, even though we got a little bit of thin cloudiness starting to move across the state. And it's hard to even see that from this perspective, but it is starting to show up, and we're going to see a little bit more of that. But the warm temperatures is causing the snow in the Sierra Nevada to melt. And this has been a record year for the amount of snowfall. Well, now that's turning into regular water and going into the rivers and streams. We've got a new flood warning at the Merced River at Pohono Bridge. That's right in the heart of Yosemite National Park. And we also still have the flood watch for all the areas outside of that. San Joaquin River still under a flood advisory. Kings River is still under a flood warning. And both of those are basically till further notice. And although it looks like we're going to see some cloudiness, it'll be pretty thin. And tomorrow will be just about as hot as today on the valley floor. Temperatures easily getting into the 90s, low 90s at least, upper 90s in a lot of valley spots. So look at our overnight low temperatures tonight. Still warm. 59 in Tulare, 60 in Kettleman City, Hanford 61, 59 in Selma and 5 Points, San Joaquin as well. Same for Mendota, 58 in Firebaugh, Dos Palos, 57 for Los Banos. High temperatures, again, low 90s, 92 in Merced, 93 in Chowchilla, getting hotter into the South Valley, 96 in 5 Points, 97 for Huron, Selma, 95, even 90 in Dunlap, 96 for Porterville, 93 expected in Delano. Air quality, that's going to be moderate to now unhealthy for sensitive groups. We've got Madera, Fresno, and Tulare County on the valley floor in the unhealthy range. Your solar forecast brought to you by Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. High numbers, then diminishing some on Sunday and a little more on Monday. So that's indicating an increase in clouds coming our way into early next week. And again, there's going to be wind, and there's also going to be much cooler temperatures. 65 will be our overnight low tonight. That's still pretty warm. Northwest wind at 10 miles per hour. Then tomorrow, 96 is the record for tomorrow, and that is exactly what I'm forecasting. So we will tie that record tomorrow. Then we drop a full 10 degrees on Sunday as the wind picks up and gets pretty strong. 25-mile-per-hour winds are not going to be out of the question on Sunday. A little less wind, but still getting cooler. Monday and Tuesday will be the bottom. After that, we'll start to warm up a little bit, but increasing clouds will lead us to the possibility of showers for Wednesday and again on Thursday. When skies clear, okay, we're back up with the temperatures again. Your regional forecasts are available on our website at yourcentralvalley.com, so please go check it out there. But it's hot, yes, but it's brief. And so I think that's the one bit of good news. There'll be some melting for the next couple of days, but when it gets much colder, that'll slow down a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah.
69. We go from 96 to 69.
It's whiplash.
How fun is that? All right.
Well, today is Arbor Day, and to celebrate, students at Orange Center Elementary in Fresno decided to plant trees all around their campus. Thanks to a partnership with Tree Fresno, the students planted 33 new trees this morning, one for each class. The principal at the school says the trees served as an important lesson for students to appreciate nature.
It also teaches the students about the environment and how important it is to continue to contribute to the environment, not only to take from the environment, but also to plant and to give back to the environment.
And the hope is for the students to come back to campus in the future and show their kids the tree their class planted and how big it's grown. Coming up next in sports, a Valley native is headed back to Fresno to play for the Bulldogs.
Angelique Martinez joins us now with that and much more. Ange.
Yeah, Stephanie and Alex on Jeff Tedford's squad continues to add new additions as the Dogs patiently wait for fall camp. Coming up, the latest on which former Buchanan Bear is headed back to the Central Valley. More on that next in Sports Central.
Rude. Tonight, the 1-hour Grand Crew season finale is popping off.
This cork is really stunning.
And giving vibes. Grand Crew 1-hour season finale tonight on NBC.
Who were they seeing when they saw her?
I felt like she was a ticking time bomb.
I really feared for my life.
Makes the hair on your neck stand up.
Which of the many faces of Sarah Jean was real?
3, 2, 1. Coming to Fresno, I see the beauty of the Central Valley. On Ksee Sunrise, I see the opportunity to tell local stories that matter. About people who make a difference every day and events that impact our community. I see what matters, and I invite you to start your day with Ksee Sunrise.
Ksee Health is excited to bring USC urologists to Visalia. Why leave the area for world-class care when it's right here in the community? If you're concerned about prostate cancer or other problems, schedule an appointment with a urologist today.
KC 24 News is brought to you in part by Ksee Health.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota.
Let's go!
It's time to spring into adventure. Experience everything that awaits this season in a new Toyota. Get low 3.99% APR financing on the stylish, fuel-efficient Camry. Or lease a Camry for just $379 a month.
No! Grab the keys, come on, let's go!
Toyota, let's go places.
Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
The Fresno State football team has added another Valley talent to their roster ahead of fall camp. Buchanan graduate and former Fresno City Rams Stephen Scheit has committed to Jeff Tedford's program. Scheit played the last 3 seasons at Eastern Michigan. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. Scheit is a middle linebacker and long snapper. Last season at Eastern Michigan, he collected 19 tackles in 10 games played. He played 1 season at Fresno City prior to heading to Michigan. While with the Rams, he led the team in tackles with 60. He shared on Twitter today that he's happy to be coming home and spend his last 2 years of college football in the Central Valley. Meanwhile, in the NFL draft continues today with rounds 2 and 3. Kingsburg native and former USC Trojan Andrew Voorhees tore his right ACL during the NFL Scouting Combine. Today, he sent out a letter to all NFL teams from his medical doctor stating based on his surgical result, he anticipates a return to play without any restrictions. At one point, he was projected to be a first-round pick. Turning to golf, the Men's Mountain West Championships continue. Here's Matthew Manganello, who had a little help with the friendly roll to birdie 18 and move into a tie atop the leaderboard at 6 under. After round 1, Fresno State is tied for 3rd with New Mexico, sitting behind San Diego State and UNLV. The Aztecs have a 2-stroke lead after round 1. Fresno State baseball opens up a 3-game series at New Mexico tonight. The Bulldogs are currently in 3rd place in the conference standings, while the Lobos sit at 5th. The Dogs are coming off of a 14-9 victory on the road at San Francisco on Wednesday, and the Diamond Dogs got going early. This game's currently going on. At last check, Fresno State leads 9-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. Bulldog softball team in action as well today on the road at Colorado State. This one went into extras, tied at 6-all. The Bulldogs suffered a 7-6 loss in the bottom of the 8th inning. With the loss, Fresno State falls to 20-26 overall. That's going to do it for sports. KC 24 News continues after this.
Parents crusade after what they say happened to their daughter on a family vacation.
It was just a horror scene.
Next, Inside Edition.
Inside Edition tonight at 7 on KC 24.
Dad?
I was the lead singer.
Packing tape is like roadside assistance. Quality matters. So join AAA, America's most recommended roadside service.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota.
Let's go!
Fun is in full bloom this spring. Longer days mean longer drives. Seize the season in a brand new Toyota. Get low 3.99% APR on the adventurous RAV4 and the road trip ready Highlander. Or lease a RAV4 for just $379 a month.
No! Grab the keys, come on, let's go!
Toyota, let's go places.
All work and no play. Yeah, you know the rest of it. Meet Cindy and Mindy. Identical twins, only in appearance. Cindy loves chicken wings and cheering on the dog. Mindy loves music and dancing the two-step. Twins like this need their own sitcom. But DNA is the real character here. Dancing is in their genes. An epic night times 2. Yeah! Table Mountain Casino Resort.
When I got hurt in a car wreck, I had so many questions.
After a car wreck, call us. We'll speak with you for free and answer all your questions.
Dunnion Law got me $450,000.
Call DUNNION.
Get moving in the most fun-to-drive Honda vehicles yet. Like the Civic, the vehicle car and driver called more fun to drive than the competition. And the HR-V, with more style, a more sporty design, and more exhilarating performance. Get moving and find a Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Home is many things. Home is a place to play, a place to raise a family, a place to relax. At Monarch, we focus on keeping your AC working so that you can focus on enjoying life. And right now, you could schedule a cooling tune-up so that your AC is ready for the summer. Monarch Home Services. Keep home comfortable.
A garden hose is like roadside assistance. Quality matters. So join AAA, America's most recommended roadside service.
KC 24 News is brought to you in part by Ventura TV. This is KC 24 News at 6.
Soon you'll be able to break off a piece of classic candy bar for breakfast.
That is, break off a piece of that Kit Kat bar and just add some milk. Kit Kat cereal now on store shelves. The sweet treat released in the UK last month, and in May, Kit Kat fans will be able to get a taste of it for themselves here in the U.S. The cereal combines the chocolatey goodness and crisp wafers that are synonymous with the iconic candy, while still featuring that essential nutrients to make it a good choice for your morning meal. I don't know where that's going to be located.
In the sugar?
Maybe. The cereal will retail for just over $5. General Mills plans to make it a permanent part of its breakfast lineup. So how about it?
It's going to be a hit. I can tell you that.
I would eat that as a midnight snack.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sounds like dessert. We do have much more coming up on KC 24 News at 6:30.
A Tower District staple returning, how you can get in on this year's Porch Fest.
And the rodeo fun continuing in Clovis. We're going to take a look at which events are left for the weekend.
Fall allergy season has started with grass and weed pollen and high mold levels. Boz Allergy knows coughing, wheezing, and headaches due to allergies and asthma can mimic flu symptoms. Get proper diagnosis and treatment. Stay safe and stay healthy. Contact Boz Allergy today and breathe easier.
In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we created the truck of the future for everyone. Ford F-150, available with 9,700 pounds of towing capacity and an interior work surface. It's designed to work hard and smart, because the truck of the future isn't created for just a few. It's for America. Ford F-150. Drive one today. Right now, get 0.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 low APR customer cash on Ford F-150. Only at your California Ford dealer.
No matter where you work, an injury can happen. And when it does, you need help right away. The insurance company has a team of lawyers to make your case go away. Make sure you have an experienced team to fight back. At Barry Smith & Bartell, we know workers' compensation cases, and we know what it takes to win. Call us now for a free, no-obligation case consultation. Let us put the experience that matters to work for you. Barry Smith & Bartell, bringing justice to injured workers.
So, how's the menopause going? Unexpected rage, hot flashes, exhaustion. Big fan. Here's to being tired all day and up at night.
Said no woman ever. Estroven relieves major menopause symptoms.
Looking for the best barbershop around? Look no further than Straight Faded Barbershop. Straight Faded Barbershop in Tulare, specializing in all the latest styles for all your haircut needs. Offering from a diverse range of cuts to always keep you looking fresh. Avoid the wait and schedule your appointment on the Booksy app. Walk-ins are welcome. At Straight Faded Barbershop, we provide top-notch service. Come see us today, located in Tulare.
Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups or get $3,750 total value on a 2023 Silverado with a turbo high-output engine. Visit your participating Central Valley Chevrolet dealers.
Fixing garage doors is all I do here at Precision. It may look bad, but most garage doors can be repaired. Our main goal is to fix the garage door, not to tell you that you need a new garage door. Precision's here to help.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Fall allergy season has started with grass and weed pollen and high mold levels. Spas Allergy knows coughing, wheezing, and headaches due to allergies and asthma can mimic flu symptoms. Get proper diagnosis and treatment. Stay safe and stay healthy. Contact Spas Allergy today and breathe easier.
Belmont Nursery proudly sponsors tonight's first segment of local news that matters at 6:30. Belmont Nursery, your go-to place for plants for 80 years.
KC24 News begins with your forecast first from your local weather authority.
I'm Chief Meteorologist A.J. Fox. A new flood warning for the Merced River, the Pohono Bridge, because of what we're calling the big melt. A lot of snow is going to be melting under the influence of very warm temperatures for tomorrow. In fact, we could tie the record. Flood advisory still in effect for the San Joaquin River. The flood warning for the Kings River, same issue. Looking at our